talk to Aaron to see, sign up.
I saw everybody pretty much on the list. That was the last one.
Last one, okay.
All right.
I think everybody made
Very
it.
good. There we go. Hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? Good, good.
Mike, this is Diane Howell from the Council on Aging.
How do you do? Right.
And Cameron Doyle.
Okay, let's, that was a big thing. Has everybody signed up? So I guess we have a quorum. We need to.
Yeah, I signed in, Monday. Yesterday.
Good. There's a guy, I think I put you on the notes. Okay, anyway, I thought the next thing we could talk about is, what happened at the select board, and Mike, I don't know if you want to give an update with, Mike Petrovic.
Yeah, I mean, so Phil had sent the proposal he put together. David, the NOTA, reviewed it, and came back and wanted to go through any sort of 30B procurement things. He said we're probably good to go if the select board chooses to move forward with that architect, which we did. So I think the next steps would be to actually formally try to get a contract in place. But in terms of moving forward, in terms of this meeting and engaging, I think we're good to go.
Good. Now, I did have a question on that, Mike. Who do I need to contact, or who do we need to contact for getting a contract in place?
I'll
Or
send a note to David just to say we need to get town council draft something now. They might need more information, any specifics, but they should take the first step and get back to us on what we need to do.
okay, good enough, thank you. With that in mind, we talked about we're moving into the next area. We wanted to take a look at walking some sites. And Mike Petrovic gave me his availability for Tuesday of next week, all day, anytime, as well as Wednesday afternoon. So I wanted to pose to this group, what we discussed in the last meeting was the possibility of looking at additional sites. And other than where we're currently located. And the architect was willing to come down, part of his bill was to go assess a couple of additional sites to see if it made sense, to look at some other things.
I'm wide open on Tuesday.
Tuesday, good, okay. What about any other member here?
Unfortunately, I'm working. Not unfortunately.
That's understandable.
So we're tossing around the idea of, for lack of a better term, abandoning the existing structure and seeing if it's feasible to find a better spot or
Yeah, I guess, Mike, what we looked at last meeting, we talked about, and I don't know if Jack's on here, but he may be.
Me and Dan.
Yeah, Jack's on here, we'll talk about it.
It's,
Lot 52 is looking for the affordable housing. We're looking at water potentially down there, plus our own build out, plus parking. There's a lot of points at the current location. And then we discussed possibly saying, okay, let's consider other locations. And Lonnie came up with a few, I think other people suggested a few other locations. The architect indicated that if we did a new build, because we're gutting the other, tearing down the back half, gutting the internals, and we have to build out some here, the cost would be nominal the same. And we probably could use that building if we did find another location for other things. Potentially there, we talked about municipal buildings or
Oxy, right?
park and rec building, there's garage under there, storage. And I mean, the town could be plausible.
sure. I'm not against it at all. I'm in favor of looking at every opportunity, any direction. The more choices you have, the better choice you make.
Well, Mike, where there's three things potentially going on at that site, that seems to me like chaos. So, and we really would like our seniors, we're very much into wellness now. I mean, we really are. We like activities and things like that and entertainment. But wellness is really our priority to keep the seniors active. And so if we could find a place where we could do some walking trails, if we could do some more outdoor activities, we're kind of leaning towards that way. You know, we're not sold on any particular of the three sites. And the third site, I mean, is John Gannett's site. I don't know if anyone has spoken to him or not about
I
it.
am,
He had offered a piece of land on the corner of Hopedale Street and North Avenue to the library. And then they didn't accept it, and so he took it back.
but
But
that
he
was for
hasn't sold it.
but it was for the regional library back in the day, remember?
Yeah.
So, I think one of the real key pieces, of looking at another site isn't so much that, that site might get tight, again, for future expansion of it. But one of the key factors that really spiked my attention was being able to stay in that space while the new space was built.
I was thinking that.
Rather than having the.
Right.
So we've gone to a workshop, see, I'm of a mind, I'm very partial to the space, but
I get
that's
it.
me. But we went, the three of us went to a workshop last year where we had two senior centers that had both done construction, one of an existing site, one of a brand new site. And they both were side by side on the stage and talked about the different experiences. So of course, yeah, the one that had to, had an existing building had a much different experience. And, I mean, I had already thought in my head how it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah,
The Unitarian Church would be thrilled to have us as a tenant for a year.
Yeah.
The Bethany Church could probably take over, our food pantry
Yeah.
clients for a year. So that's never been not a possibility. It's a lot of work.
No, I get it. And
But I understand. So I
Yeah,
just want to say.
I just, I knew how partial you were towards it. I knew how, some others, members were partial towards it. And, we weren't really looking at that option.
Right.
But when that point did come up, I was like, well, it does make life easier.
It does.
Let's at least take a peek, right?
Right.
And then when he said that the cost would be the same.
Yeah.
So now essentially, we're gonna get a whole brand,
Basically, getting the building, yeah.
foundation, from dirt to roof, brand new building for that money. We know we have the Parks Department situation where they're looking for a building for their equipment as well as an office. They were talking about building the steel building down
Right.
in Memorial Fields there. This being right next to the DPW, and there's a lot of things that now kind of sway it even
Yeah.
in a better direction, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was my thought on it, to at least let's take a peek. right?
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
traffic is another issue
Yeah.
because there have been a lot of concerns about the
Chief brought that up
entrance.
as well.
Yeah. So
Say,
I do want to say one thing to that, because when I heard that the land across from Clough was being considered, that I think is way more treacherous an area than, because I said, Chief, how many accidents have we had out in front of the senior center? 0. How many accidents have happened up
I
here?
had a
at
personal
16?
experience where somebody was hit by a car after an event, so.
And
And
the
I think
senior center.
Yeah, so I have.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing, the architect had a surprising reaction. I thought, and it was more of, it was almost like, I don't know if he knew that another space was an option, but when he heard there's another option, he said, yeah, that might be worth looking at, because I think he's trying to figure out how to make it work
Yeah.
where it is. So he kind of
Yeah.
brightened up a little bit when he said, oh, there's other opportunities, we should at least
Explore,
explore.
absolutely.
And that intersection right now is torture. Like, trust me, I drive through.
How many times was it like?
Right, I live this, so I gotta go through all the time. However, 2 to 3 years from now, that's gonna be a much better situation. So, and with, once you get onto the North Ave section, it's much less, it's almost within 10 feet, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna-
It's closer to my house.
It's a little bit more centralized, it's really not the center of town, that's actually physically more the center of town than, because we even looked at putting the town hall down there at one point, when we were doing the fire department, looking at Morrison Drive and all that, years ago, that's actually more physically the center of Mendon, is roughly that area, but, there's the Gannett piece too that we talked about, however, if nobody's reached out to them, I know he's not feeling well. I'm not saying that he would be against it. Now we're just even further away from the centralized part. That is just that piece, keep in mind. And that is a very steep piece of property this way.
We haven't seen it, we haven't walked
Oh, no, but just drive down Oakdale Street and you'll see, I mean, that grade is there, so again, not saying to count it out, but it'll be a little bit more work. I just know all the work they just did to get the, but they got the guy, like the town planting of gardens up there.
Oh, Annie Potts.
Yeah, yeah, so I know that.
She's got the gardens. And I
Yeah,
think
and Mike Sauer did a lot of work next door, which I know there was just so much work. There's supposed to be additional, I don't know if that's part of it
I
or.
think it's Gary Smith's land, and I think he's letting her
Got it.
have this community garden.
Yeah, they're a community. Anyhow, that's my 2 cents.
So, Lonnie, you mentioned another location, I forgot the name, the North Avenue location. Was there another parcel or something that we should look at or just not that?
No, the only thing that we talked about was the Crossman Club and then the Gannett property, which is just further
I
up.
wasn't sure of the second one, I got you, okay. So if we could, what time would, well, availability stand, Mike, you can't make it on Wednesday.
No, during the day's tough for me,
He's still working.
I'm still working.
10 a.m. and 11 for me is good.
Get this building built, so I'll be.
In our lifetime, huh? In our
I think
lifetime.
it's all set for you.
The only other property I think in down in Hill, town property down there, is the old Kelly farm,
I'm not sure where that is.
down Blackstone Street. Almost towards the end.
Is it down near Vanderborks?
That's level, so but further past. Is it on Inman Hill Road?
Where Bob Kelly was.
Right around the flag.
No.
So the town owns that piece of land
Yes,
there?
I believe it was a barn down there, with the highway barn.
Well, that's at the top of Inman Hill, isn't it?
So we'd be really far from the center of town then.
And that's the top of Inman, where the highway barn is at the top of the hill, past like where Trish Slow lives, at the entrance to the trails.
Maybe I haven't been down there.
Yeah, so that's, and talk about Treasurer's Brook, that's a great one. Very windy and not. Really, that's Phil Dunlop, right?
Yes.
At the beginning. Anyway, again, I don't know that what is usable up there, isn't that all?
Grow vegetables.
Is that?
You can grow
Grow
vegetables.
vegetables.
No, I think it's all, like, open space. I don't know what is available, that'd be a question for him.
Mm.
So I'd like to continue to move forward with Mike to
Yeah.
at least step through.
Yeah.
So why don't we,
You pick a time.
10 o'clock,
That's fine.
at work,
And then,
and meet at the town hall?
Tuesday.
Is that Tuesday or Wednesday you're gonna go to take a look at it?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. I'd like to go, but Tuesday morning I have interviews from 10 to noon. Anytime besides that, I'm free on Tuesday and all day Wednesday.
Tuesday afternoon?
That's fine with me. I'll be done with the interviews by 12:30.
say 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that'd be great for me.
Sorry, David, you said something?
Oh,
Okay, we'll park at Clough School,
Yeah, as well.
1 o'clock?
Yep. Okay,
sorry, I didn't see you up there, Dave, on the wall. Okay, 1 o'clock, I'll contact Mike and tell him 1 o'clock we're on. Okay. Jack, I'm gonna let you go next, okay, since you got the fancies. And you're on the line.
I'm here.
You wanna give us any kind of updates since our last meeting?
Yeah, just let me comment on, I think you guys are doing the right thing, weighing the pros and cons of at least the two sites, the existing site and North Ave. I don't know these other sites that well. But, just a reminder, Lonnie knows this. We tried to rezone that 3 times, Lonnie, I think. And what's that?
Yep.
And it failed the last time by 1 vote, but it still failed. And most of it, the naysayers was because they wanted it to be retained as municipal use. And we were thinking of putting as many as 80 apartments and a small commercial component, which would have generated a lot more traffic and certainly disturbed a lot more land than a senior center. So hey, I'm the outsider. I don't live in Mendon. This is your decision, but I'll tell you, as a user of senior centers, there's a couple that are brand new that are just wonderful. And the outdoor component is very compelling to me. Very compelling as a senior. So that's all.
And one of the things on that outdoor component, Jack, and I don't know, maybe Mike or Lonnie or Alana, if we do build out recreation areas outside of this facility, is there an opportunity to find funding from some of the recreation monies that we have?
As long as the facility is open to all the public, not just seniors, yes.
Currently, our facility kind of is.
Well, you mean like the trails, you mean like the trails or any kind of?
Yeah, I don't have to tell you, but pickleball's very popular. You could have pickleball courts out there. Hiking trails, you could have a garden that seniors take care of, or a flower garden. I don't know, there's a million things.
Some senior centers, they grow fruits and vegetables for their meals.
I've seen them, yeah. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm here to help you guys wherever you go, so.
Who's on, you said you might have a buyer, an interested person to build that housing next to the current.
That's how I got introduced to Mendon. There was an interested buyer, but we couldn't get the zoning changed. So, and we would have to sell the property, and you can't sell the property without town meeting. So it just hit a dead end. Because there's a good component of people wanted to stay for municipal use, which I guess was the intent when they bought it. Now they've used a lot of that land, but anyway.
We'd certainly be using for municipal purposes.
Okay. My update is, well, just as far as the drilling, Conservation Commission gave us permission for the access and drilling for the existing site behind the senior center, and provided we get a butter approval, which I think we have, access to town-owned property off of Providence Street, kind of down by Blackstone, I think it is. They had a site visit today, so they're working that out with the abutter. This is just exploratory, just drilling, one drill, one sample well, and some soil borings to see if it's palatable. As far as the affordable housing, we have sent out our scope of services to 3 engineering firms. We've heard back from 2. Actually, I think we've heard back from all 3. And we've given them till September 6th to give us their quotes. And remember, we're asking them to design and permit through the Conservation Commission the access over the wetlands for the access road. And if we have enough money to design and permit both from the Board of Health and the Conservation Commission a septic system. And then if we really have enough money, which I doubt we will, because we don't have that much, to permit through conservation the directional drilling for the well. So I expect us to hire someone in mid-September, and hopefully they can get everything done, and we'll be going back out to bid in February. That's the goal, at least.
Do you have confidence, though, that some builder is going to pick up that and follow?
Yeah, well, if you remember the last meeting, what happened was we went out to bid last spring. And we had three firms that were very nonprofits. These are nonprofits. It's gonna be a nonprofit. And they were extremely interested. I've worked with two in the past, one I didn't know. And they didn't bid. And so we met with them on Zoom to find out after the bidding was over, to find out why. And it was because it's too expensive to build with the wetlands crossing. And with the septic system being so close to the wetlands, et cetera, et cetera. So if we can underwrite, if you will, some of that cost, I know they'll bid. I know they will. They were very interested. Mendon is very popular in this for affordable housing because our affordable housing is, if not the lowest, one of the lowest in the Commonwealth. And the state really wants us to try to expand our affordable housing. Otherwise, they're gonna do it for us.
You think Ann will go along with that? Ann Mesa, yeah?
She's the head of our little committee, yeah.
I know she's very concerned about the wetlands and conservation.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what-
she knows, she's side by side with me on this, believe
All
me.
right,
She sent
Okay.
out the emails to the engineers. I didn't even know two of the firm. One of them is Gary and Hanlon, who we deal with a lot, but the other two I didn't know.
okay, thank you.
So I imagine by your next meeting, Phil, we should have at least a preferred bid. I'm hoping.
Good progress. Thanks, Jack. Anything else?
No, just keep on plugging. You're doing the right thing.
Okay, well, probably once we start to look at things, and one of the things we talked about the last meeting, going back to the site at North Ave, Chief, you also mentioned that, you thought there was a study done, an engineering study done on the property one time? We were wondering if that, any of that results are still there, or Jack, would you be aware of if there's anything there?
On what? I'm sorry.
On the lot on North Ave,
On North Ave? Nothing that we had. I've heard a lot of rumors and a lot of stuff, but no documentation.
I've been looking upstairs. I know I can find it somewhere. I don't know if it's per se an engineering, but it was a conceptual design based on the topography. So I don't think they did they had surveyors come out, but they actually had the engineers go out there and take a look at what the land looked like to compose it. I think the engineering would have went if the next stage went, if we would have passed it at town meeting with the override, then they would have fully engineered the site. So I just think we have conceptual drawings. Mike, Amanda Lambert, you can remember that because he might even be on the
The
board. back then.
the chief's right. Lonnie, I saw a conceptual drawing that I think John Nenart showed me.
You have an echo coming in with an echo.
It's David. There we go. John Nenart showed me one when I first started here 2 years ago, a conceptual for that property. Is that something you can get your hands on?
John Nenard showed it to you?
John Nenart, yeah.
The conceptual wouldn't have been for what we're talking about. The conceptual would have been for the property below that section that would have been all the drawings that we did. I don't think there was anything in the top section. We were only talking like the stone wall down for what you were trying to do, which those were upstairs for 100 years. They were on the cardboard up in the, but nothing
Oh,
section, because that section where we're talking about right now is gonna be the police and fire. Give me a second, I'm gonna just take a peek into yours and see if I can, what I can find.
all right.
that'd be interesting to discover. And have, Mike look at that, Petra, if we have anything. And then Lonnie,
Well, that was quite a few years ago.
we're planning to do a redo.
Yeah, but the land hasn't changed all that much.
So
So,
you'd be
It has.
surprised.
well, I haven't walked it yet, so I'll find out on Tuesday.
Well,
the new one.
Dave sparked some interest. I have to look at my records that I keep. I might have some information.
I can see it.
It kind of squirreled away somewhere.
Me and Donnie.
You still gotta find it though.
It's a crew now, I'll tell you this kind of stuff. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to try to touch upon is try to structure the committee that we're operating under now. So I'm going to default to people who structure committees before, since I have it. And maybe Alana or Mike
I think you're doing a terrific job.
doing what?
I nominate Phil Sibley as the chairman.
Yeah, I already.
Second,
That's fine. Because you voted the most time to this already. I mean, you have.
Thank you.
And it is our senior center, so there should be some representation from this. You should hopefully.
One thing is, I'm an alternate technically, so I won't, if we're both here, I'm not voting.
Well, I'm not even sure that I'm a voting member. I mean, but
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'll be the select board.
as a select board, like,
I think it was kind of a gray area, so.
it was kind of a gray area, so.
No, are you the liaison, like, hey, we're just sitting in on these boards, or did we have a board of selectmen member that's appointed to this committee? That would be the difference.
Yeah,
She attends our council on
We'll
aging.
confirm it, that we went,
okay.
that we went with
With
appointment.
the, with
Right,
the,
that's
okay,
right.
all right.
But I don't want to overload it, so that's why I'm an
Right.
alternate.
Right.
I'm just participating today.
well, as a selectman, as a select person,
Yeah.
you should be involved, whether you.
Yeah, so we want to make sure we have coverage.
Right.
We just got to confirm whether we are appointed or we just
Whether we're
liaising.
voting. Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, based on that, you want to, somebody nominate, somebody second, you want to vote on that? Like me being the chair. I guess that's appropriate. Rule.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, so I will, how about I'll vote until we determine that,
That you're not.
right. I'm not a voting member.
Okay.
Right, all's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next,
You're on a visitor tonight.
now the vice chair, would be interesting to consider somebody that's gone through this practice before.
Mike Mandalia, vice chair.
I have to tell you, I'm involved with the finance committee, conservation committee,
How about
this
Dave then?
committee now.
How about
Plus, I
Dave?
got a full-time job that
How about Dave? I understand what you're saying, Mike.
Dave, you willing to take on that assignment?
Yeah, I think we can work well together.
Right.
So when he's not there, I can cover him. That's not a big deal.
Right, that's good experience.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
That's what we need, right?
Well, we need anything else? No.
I don't
You
think
need
so.
a secretary, yeah.
Anybody got, that would be nice, actually. A dyslexic old guy can't spell. It's really tough.
Is it just taking notes at the meetings,
Well,
or is it anything
let's
really
talk
technical?
about that. I mean, there's gonna be we're gonna ask the town people to come up with a lot of money. I think we should look and have a professional secretary that you can delegate different tasks to.
Where will that money come from?
Well, we got two selectmen here.
Mike, I would say I agree somewhere along the line, but in my heart, we got 35,000 from the town already to design the building and do the site survey. And maybe we could just, muddle through it, Peggy and I or somebody, I agree. There's a lot of communication that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just tossing it out there. I know, because I'm part of this building, part of the fire station building, that if you have a professional secretary, someone that's just not a member of the board, because you're gonna be too busy taking notes and
Not
you're
listening.
gonna be delegating work to do. Call this guy, get this information for next week. I
What
feel
would that
that
cost us,
it's
do you
worth
think?
an investment, and it really doesn't cost that much money.
Who would you recommend?
Could we, hey, Mike, do you think it might not be a bad idea like we did with the police station committee? We're lucky we had Don Moran to do everything, but maybe during this spot, we could just do a regular secretary until the building gets approved. And then once it got approved, that's when Don's work really picked up. We could maybe look at hiring someone then. But in the meantime, just have someone to do the notes now, because it would be easier to do notes now since we record all the meetings. You don't have to, you just jot things down quick, and if you forget something, you can go back into the video. Well, we didn't have that with the police station meeting, but it might be a little easier now. But I agree with you. Once the building gets going, it's tough to have someone like a Don Moore, and we were lucky and blessed to have him do what he did for us, but we should have been paying someone for that.
And where is Don?
He's about 15 minutes from me here in Narragansett.
Well, again, it's just a thought. We don't have to make, again, we've got plenty of time.
That's
I mean,
This-
my
this is
two
gonna
cents
happen.
is, once this gets into building, we need to formalize the project management and the execution. So I think roles, responsibilities will be taking shape at that time.
And build that into the budget for the project.
I believe we're gonna need a clerk of works, so to speak.
Okay,
Any municipal building that's gonna be over, what is it, 100,000?
Say it again,
We're gonna need a,
OPM?
yeah,
Yeah.
believe me, the days of getting everybody together and doing a role where everybody's too busy. So you gotta treat it as a professional undertaking.
Yeah, I think I agree that's really the next step is we're finding the spot, getting the idea, and then
Right.
asking the folks for the money, and once they say that, now let the professionals start it.
But there's no reason.
We can drive by,
Toss the ideas around, so.
yeah, we can drive by later and just say, why are you doing it that way?
are we looking for?
Idiots.
I didn't think it was gonna look like that.
Yeah, terrible.
The white elephant in North Avenue. We're looking towards next May, is that correct?
We're going town hall next night.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tell me,
Town meeting.
all right, I'll be in before we know it.
Yep, good look. Okay, so it sounds like the big pieces we wanted to get through, we're kind of covering. A couple of other areas we want for topics. It gets design moving, as soon as we get a location, Lonnie, maybe you can tap into that engineering person that we need to either supplement what we have or drill down on engineering.
Yep.
And then the other pieces that are open for just discussion, not for resolution, is that there's two key areas that I see. It's kind of marketing and communications. And we're really looking for people who are highly skilled at that. Current technology, meaning internet beyond social media. Good written language skills to do articles and posts. We're looking to form a little communications group. I said we got splinter groups that can come to this meeting. We need people to really think about how can we communicate to the 7,000 residents of this town and do it effectively all the time.
So are you thinking to recruit more members for this committee or recruit people in the, in the town, whether or not they're part of the committee?
Correct. I think
Working groups.
it's a working group. I'm thinking we need a lead somewhere along the line to be able to orchestrate all the things. Just think about all the things we need to worry about. I shouldn't worry about things that think that pop in my mind. But put that on paper and then execute. I look at the social media accounts. We're going to get to Rock the Block. We'll be there. We'll have a bunch of stuff.
Who's running that one? I couldn't get a name on who's running that.
What do you want to do?
Well, no, we sent in a donation.
Oh, I saw that. It's listed wrong. I was wondering what it said. Hold on, I just got.
Oh, if we're getting it, like a table or?
Council on
We
Aging.
went for the $100 because
Oh, okay, I see.
Dave, but
we got beer pockets.
you want to do the, you want a table?
Well, that's what we were gonna suggest, whether we could, because we're trying to, we thought we might put out some kind of a clipboard. We're gonna have, things to hand out, but we were just figuring if anybody wanted to sign up of any interest, we can.
We want to promote the expansion of the building.
Promote our
And our
services.
service, the whole thing.
We did it at the Zip Trip. We had a really good response
Mhm.
there.
We have a few posters talking about building, but also talking about services.
Well, actually,
Friends of the Seniors.
it's both. We chipped in 50/50. We could probably just go by the Men's and Senior Center. It encompasses both of us.
We're friends, whichever is appropriate.
Okay, that's, let me put, what was your email?
Small letters, PEGNOG.
Amy, let me, just putting you in touch with Shelby Kimball. She's doing all the vendor booths.
Oh, okay, okay, fine.
So you're looking for marketing, communicate, experience, while soliciting volunteers that might be able to help drive promotion of senior center services and expansion projects, right?
I think that's something, again, I keep referring back to the select board. I would suggest at their meetings, at every meeting, they kind of have a casual talk about this, so that people keep hearing it. And what a great idea. Oh, by the way, yeah, we're looking for help, you know, and just kind of positively talk it up.
Yeah,
And
the
then go on to your
correspondence to the
business.
board, like, it might actually be nice if we got like regular letters,
Updates.
from people,
So you want to plan correspondence before?
not plan so much as invite it.
Feedback.
There's
Yeah.
often no correspondence.
That's true.
Or- So that would be an opening. I mean, I agree, like, I think we could also put it on the agenda periodically.
Direct solicitation. I mean, there's plenty of professionals in this town that have that type of background.
Yes.
They just may not know that there's a community that's actively searching, so more full recruiting on the website.
Right. Yeah.
And we don't know them either. And we would, to go by what you both are saying, if we wrote a letter then to the selectmen saying, we are inviting people at the Rock the Block to stop by our booth and pick up
I
some
think, yeah,
information.
that sometimes makes it useful, like it's at the beginning of the meeting, it's a nice, sweet spot to have that information.
What I think as liaisons from the board to this committee, we can raise that as an update of the business. Every agenda.
Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but my sources tell me that a lot of people watch. A lot of people watch.
What's the?
Not like the old days.
No, I think this
A lot of people
whole stuff has done wonders. Like,
Yeah.
see a lot of initials up there.
Are you meeting tomorrow night?
We are meeting tomorrow night.
That was 21.
That one,
I'll get on my.
it's gonna be in the conference room.
Yeah, it's not gonna be as big as.
I'd probably say the next one.
Yeah,
All right, okay.
the September 6th one is gonna be. the
Well, it'll still
regularly
be time,
scheduled.
and it will still be in time for Rock the Block.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Speaking of meetings, Amy brought up a good point we talked about earlier today. I'm thinking because of the activity that we're in, we're beyond a month, that we probably should meet more frequently until we get design and cost down now. And some of these communications efforts. So I was thinking of moving this to every 2-week cycle instead of monthly, which we're on 2 weeks now. But the question would be to the selectmen members. Would it be better to meet the day before your Wednesday meeting or alternate weeks? And that's just for your opinion.
I don't have an opinion. I'm flexible on, I mean, we're talking about Tuesdays in general.
Tuesdays. at
So
6:30.
I think, I sometimes have land use committee meetings on Tuesday, so let me check to see which, it's been a while, they keep getting canceled, so see when those are and whichever one isn't that,
Those are once a month, right?
they are, but I think.
Well, we
they're-
try to be, but she's right, the last, through the summer here, it's been inactive.
Well, in September, things tend to get back to a routine.
Yeah, I am back from,
I think, yeah, she's also waiting on the paddock.
Perfect. So to bring it back to, do we still want to nominate a secretary more for the current local secretary for minutes and things like that?
Anyone interested in that?
I'll volunteer.
Do a good job.
I'll
So-
do the best I can. You couldn't have said that any faster? Jeez.
Thank you.
She fills in for Ann Vandersloot.
I am, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
filling.
I like my chat AI stuff.
Lonnie, I'm gonna need your help to get into my Mendon Mass email.
Okay.
The other topic piece that, so it sounds like we need to do some recruiting. We're gonna do it at the Rock the Block, looking for people. We can start sending a note to the select board to get, make more visible the need for communications and marketing skills. Maybe I'll even throw a post out to the local, Mendon bulletin board. Because that's usually, I don't throw a lot out there, so when I do, sometimes people look at it, so we'll put it out there. I'll tell my daughter, who's little kids' ages, to throw that out there. A lot of communications people in her area. So we'll cover that piece. The next piece is fundraising. And I just want to throw that out there. I followed up a little bit in an informal way because I can't formally go look at fundraising. But I happened to be at the bank correcting a card that got swiped from me. And I asked Nancy, who's the banker for the Friends, about Venmo accounts and setting up a chat. Well, she was going to go explore that with the banking board, see how we could set that up. I explored it myself. It's not difficult, but it'd have to be the friends of the elders or friends set up that account. Actually.
Yep.
I'm not sure we'll have it for Rock the Block. I think we'll get the QR codes. We'll get,
I don't, we should be able to do that for because it's a matter of a Venmo account that they'll just scan and Venmo the money and then you just transfer it into the account that's needed at the bank. They should have those answers for you.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, Nancy's usually great.
Yeah, I'm hoping she'll do that. I mean, it's easy enough to set up, but I don't want to set that up because I'm an active board member on the COA and I can't effectively collect money.
No, we can't.
We're not supposed to do charity.
Right.
So I really need the friends to, and they're on summer break until September, so I'm just trying to balance that. But you're right, I would like to have that QR code and a Venmo account, direct deposit to some kind of bank account. Because I think we're going to see more and more as we go.
We've had some donations. Unfortunately, it's because of funerals, but they have designated that memorial contributions be given to the building expansion. So that's another.
$100 for Ann.
That's
Yeah. The other thing we discussed earlier today, the senior center team, is there's a community here of business people that are around us that I don't know, I'm not wired to, I don't know who they are. I know me because I buy a car every now and then. But is there anyone here connected to a person who is vibrant in the business owners? There's not a chamber of commerce, I don't think. And then,
No.
Yeah.
and I'm just thinking if we had a committee of people focusing on fundraising at a higher level, then it would be made up of the people who are business people who are more fluent than I am. And I don't know if anybody knows anybody, but we could ask that person to set up maybe a little subcommittee that could work on this project for the next year as well. It would be an outreach for philanthropy, basically.
I don't know who the rich people are. They don't live there.
Kind of ties in with marketing too, though, right?
It is part, it's all kind of, it intertwines, I think we need somebody who is a good champion who, you know, I don't know Ian that well, but I'd have to go ask him, I said, who would you recommend? But I don't know the history of the police station, all that sort of, whatever went on down there, first.
Chief, any input on that?
What are we fundraising for? For the building?
For the building, private donations. Somebody in the outside community who would steer the committee to.
Chief, what do you need for donations?
You're breaking up, Lonnie. I heard most of this. I don't know how much we go down the donation route, to be honest with you. I think we put it before the voters and see where it goes. I don't know how much of a dent we'd make. And it's tough because we started donations for the police station before I was chief, long before I was chief, and that turned into a catastrophe. It just, a lot of feelings got hurt, a lot of people got mad with it. I almost want to say, do we learn from our past and not go down that same route? You know, don't complete the same mistake.
Yeah, we're not trying or anything. I think that the voters would fund it.
But usually here, with other cities, the comes to furniture center, that's
I was
funding.
just gonna say that, so
Right.
that, I would say if we do start some fundraising, let's not gear it towards, and again, we should have money in the build out that would encompass furnishings too, but
But
there's going to be additional items that either just aren't thought of, and we should focus the fundraising on that. And that gives plenty of time to slowly do it at events like Rock the Block, things that we're gonna be doing, you know, getting out there that, hey, we're doing this, would you like to donate for the outfitting, you know, labeled as the outfitting of the senior center, not so much the build up. I really think just bringing this to the taxpayers, the way that we're going to present it, the way that it's, where we're falling in the drop off of other debt, and being in between the school's gonna be asking and whatever the fire department's gonna be. I think that we just ask for that and not try to say, oh, look, we're gonna try to get $100,000. Because, yeah, how much are we really gonna get? I mean, other than somebody like a Kevin dropping a ton of money on, I really, and I think that the numbers, where the numbers are at, I'm super comfortable bringing it to the taxpayer.
I agree with Lonnie too. And then I think if Phil, if you want to fundraise later on, if it's stuff in the building, if we get it passed, we could do something like other places have done. I know in Whitensville, the community center, they sold bricks as a fundraiser, and your brick was imprinted.
Trees on the wall.
And
Eagle Scout
land,
project for the
landscaping
library.
also, I mean, like benches and
Yes.
on the property.
Yes.
That's a good point. I throw it out and just throwing these ideas out. Good point though.
So I do fundraising and that's why I was just gonna hand it on the table because I'm almost worn out doing it. I do it for Whitensville Community School, the hospital got us as co-host this year. It's just, and it's so much to do and I mean, I was gonna hand it on the table because there's no way I can go ask people for more money again right now. And even asking for the little bit that we asked for the Rock Block. So it's just, that is an animal in itself. This committee that this other meeting I'm supposed to be in right now is the Whitensville Schools Development Committee. It's just, there's so much involved. So I think that getting a group together to really do that, either you mean start it now, but maybe, you know, get some seniors together that, and other people know people around, right? And again, start with the brick sales now, things like that we're gonna know. Maybe we wait just a bit more till we get the layout of the location and the layout, and hey, we're gonna have these paths,
Yeah,
let's
they can
start
see
to,
it.
and then they're part of the path, right? They're part of the
Very good.
room, they're part of, sell plaques on the wall for people that donated for all of this furniture in this, you know, in this meeting room. The cameras for the TV, all that stuff. I think that that's really, when they can, and that's something that we discuss a lot is what are they getting for their donation? Not just, hey, I donated to that building and most people don't want recognition, but some people do want recognition. And it helps to be there. So that's one of the big things that we fight with constantly on the fundraisers. You know, what can they touch? What can they see getting for return of the investment?
All right, well, those comments are welcome.
And then the final piece is just in that whole area. And who we connect with to continue to push the government for any possibilities there, state and federal.
You mean like grants or things like that that are up there with senators and representatives?
I know that we established one of the select board meetings was a connection with the person who was presenting 2 meetings ago.
Yeah.
And I know that Jack was going to be the focal point for some of that stuff, so I'm not sure how we plug into that as we go forward. And I'm not sure of the fiscal calendar years when you get to start hitting them, you get into money for 24.
I mean, to some extent, we will have to tie in the town administrator, and right now we just have the interim one, but I feel, you know,
I
With
think,
grants.
I think we've hit our reps, our state senators and our federal, right? So they're aware of this.
So where?
I think it's the amount of repetitive messaging and keeping in touch. And I think that should come to the select board's office.
CMRPC too, would know.
Yeah.
I think, so that's something maybe David could just reach out to CMR.
And that's, I think, the only thing I wanted to touch upon. But any action items or elements we need to do?
oh, we didn't, just to, plan on the meeting dates. I know so I checked the land use committee meets the second Tuesday of the month. So it would be helpful for me not to meet that particular
Right, so that would be
Tuesday.
the
The 12th of September.
September for us not to meet then, because we have a meeting the second Wednesday.
Okay. Second Tuesday, no time. Okay, I'll try to work around it.
So, yeah, so I mean, you talked about it, so the select board meets the first and third Wednesday. So, like, I mean, I'd be open to having these meetings be those Tuesdays. I don't know.
Doesn't mean,
Okay. First and third? Okay, it doesn't,
We can always remote it too, so it's not.
Yeah, that's right,
absolutely.
that's right.
Okay, good. Any new ideas or new business, or what did I forget? Or thoughts?
I think walking those sites is gonna be the best. Is somebody gonna reach out to Mr. Gann? I just don't know.
You know who he's really friends with is Gary Smith. Who's friends with Gary Smith?
Well, he's done a couple
I think I have.
projects.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have Gary's one. Yeah,
He was our realtor, like, he was the first person in Mendon I met.
He's reached out to us, he's collaborated with us in Annex for a couple of projects at the senior center, which are, you know, they did not get recognition for. I would feel comfortable reaching out to him, but if
I was
you.
gonna text him right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go right ahead.
So if we could see both sites. Yeah.
But I see here what Ron is saying about, as much as
I haven't even been
I like the
down.
location of that site across from this school, but the land does slope down.
You know, there's a senior center in Bellingham and they get their meals from the school because they are located like
Right near the high school.
right near the high school. And they get meals 5 days a week. Our people only get meals twice a week now.
It'd be nice to see if we could expand it.
It certainly would be.
Mhm. And yeah, you'd be very busy.
We're gonna need more volunteers for you.
We'll get you a bicycle.
I think it'll come together nicely. Okay, what else is going, I think
My
that's all I have.
little people that come in for lunch, I have them all trained very well. They all come up to me, here's the $3, all with correct change. It's working wonderful.
Good, good.
You gotta
No
train.
more 20s. So everybody comes in with 20s for a $3 meal. More training's like, I don't have any change.
Trying to get them to realize that it's not going into the senior center's checking account, it's not going into my checking account.
Right.
We're sending this money out.
Back.
I can't give you change. I don't have it.
Just wanna, you're gonna follow up on the Rock the Block contact with.
I can do that if you want,
All right, why don't you do that?
Right.
about having a table at Rock the Block.
I already,
You saying,
I CC'd,
To Doug.
and Amy, I CC'd
Shall-
you
shall
on,
we?
Shelby Kimball, she'll get you guys set up.
Shelby, please.
Okay, I think that's it. Anything else? Chief, you got anything out there?
I know I'm good. If Lonnie reaches out to Mr. Gannon, I don't mind going with him if he wants me to, and through Gary. I've had relationships with him in the past with donations. So,
Okay, yeah, thank you.
yeah, he's good with the community, really wants to help out, so.
Good, great. Thank you.
Maybe we know.
Okay, I think that's all I have for the evening.
All right,
Appreciate
so
it.
next meeting is when? We're doing it the first, is that the 5th? September 5th?
What was that, would have been,
That would be the next first Tuesday of the,
in the 5th? It'll be the 5th. We'll send it out in the notes.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
to adjourn.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a minute? Or you
hold on a second.
Sounds on.
Barry Atkins, does that sound right?
I haven't go look